All right, welcome to part 2 of the study guide review. Now, yesterday we did hit this question, but it did not end up on the video, so I want to go over it very quickly. The main question that I want to go over is this one right here. I am a whole number, but not an integer. What number am I? If I gave you the possibility of impossible, 1, and -3, what is the only answer that you would be able to use here? I am a whole number, but not an integer. What number am I? Remember, a whole number is a counting number and 0, and an integer is any number that is on a number line. So that is all the negatives to infinity and all the positive numbers to infinity and what's between them. So what is the only possible answer we could put there?
One.
Well, does one is an integer, isn't it?
-3.
Isn't -3 an integer? So the only possible answer we could put here is
0.
Impossible. It's impossible. All right? There's no way you can have a whole number and it not be an integer. Okay? So that is impossible. I'm a rational number, a whole number, and an integer. That's going to be a positive number. All right? Yep, that could work as well. All right?
I said 1.5.
Well, it has to be a whole number. Is a whole number 1.5?
No.
Okay. Let's look at that next one. I'm a rational number and an integer, but I'm not a whole number. That would just be what? Like, say I gave you -2, +2, and 1/2. What answer would you put there? I'm a rational number and an integer, but I am not a whole number. Remember, whole numbers are numbers that we count with 0
Wouldn't that
to
be
infinity.
0?
Well, I didn't give you 0. I gave you 2, -2, and 1/2.
What's 1/2?
Is 1/2 an integer?
Would it be a whole number and a fraction?
Well, you can't have a whole number and a fraction because a whole number
Wouldn't it be
is.
a 2?
All right, would it be negative or positive?
Negative.
It'd be negative. Because why? Two could also work. You could actually use both of them. We could use 2 or -2. All right, let's take a look at the next one. I'm a rational number, but not an integer. I'm located to the left of 0 on the number line. What number could I be? What's a number located to the left of 0?
I said 0.5.
Perfect.
-0.
Perfect. -0.5 is a great answer. All right. Now, yesterday we left off on question number, I believe, 10. Right here. So let's pick up here. It says, how much would Dave spend with Plan B if he needed to pay for 350 text messages?
I said he would have to spend $55.49.
That is correct. Tell me how you did it.
So what I did is since he wanted 350 text, I did 300 or 350 minus 300 to get the extra 50 that he has to pay for, and I did 50 times 0.15.
Okay. And 50 times 0.15 is what? Anybody know? I know. I'll help you out.
8.50.
Close. $7.50. And what do you do with that $7.50?
Add it to $47.99.
All right. Keep going. You're doing good. What do you get when you add those together?
You get $55.49.
Perfect. Anybody got a question for Levi? All right. Levi, I got a message from you yesterday. You'll have to explain it to me later.
Yes, sir.
All right. Number 11. Read this one for us, Angel S.
Sid babysits for $9.75 per hour. If he babysits for 12 hours in one weekend, how much money will he earn? Write your answer in the hundredths place.
All right. So what are we going to do?
Take the amount of money he earns for 1 hour, multiply it by 12.
Good. What's 2 times 5?
I got 100.
You're good. Go ahead.
117.
All right. So what's 2 times 5?
10.
All right. And then 2 times 7?
14.
Plus
14.
1.
15.
2 times 9?
18.
Plus 1?
19.
All right. 1 times 5?
5.
1 times 7?
7.
1 times 9?
9.
All right. And Landon said when we add this together, we should get 117. Notice that is 2 decimal places. So that means we're moving 2 decimal places to the left. So 0 plus 0 is
0.
5 plus 5?
10.
10 plus 7?
27.
10 plus 7 is 17. 10 plus 1?
11.
And where will my decimal go? 1, 2. Right here. Is that writing our answer to the nearest hundredths place? Isn't that the hundredths place? Yes or no?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yes, it is. Good. All right. Number 12. We have. Who feels like leading us in this one? Ooh, everybody's scared. That's what I like.
I guess I will.
All right.
All right. So it says, hold on. Consider the expression above. Which of the following simplified expressions are equivalent to it? Select all that apply.
All right. So there's no operations inside parentheses. So what would be the next thing that we would do?
Exponent.
That's right. So we're going to take 2/5 and do what? We got to multiply it by its what?
Opposite.
Not its opposite, but by itself. So what is 2 times 2?
4.
Good. What's 5 times 5?
25.
Good. Now, next up is multiplication and division. Is there any multiplication here? What's this negative near these parentheses mean? We have to do what?
Multiply.
Multiply. So we're going to take the negative and multiply by our answer that we got here. The answer we got was 4/25. So a negative times 4/25 would be negative 4/25. Now, the easiest thing to do here is to use a calculator. So what are we going to do?
What was the question?
I said that the easiest thing to do would be able to use a calculator, but we don't have to use one. What could we do?
When you divide.
Yeah. So let's do that.
So negative 425 was the answer.
No, I want to just divide it. What would it be if we divided it?
$0.16.
Correct. What is 3 divided by 5 in your calculator?
$0.6.
Okay. So what do we do now with 0.6 and this sign and that 5? What's that sign right there mean? Right here.
Divide.
Yeah, so 0.6 divided by 5 is what?
$0.12.
Good. And so negative 1600ths plus 1200ths would be a negative what?
Negative 28. Negative 0.28.
Think about it. That's a negative. So you're on the left side, 1600ths. You're going to add 12
Negative
units.
0.4. Negative
There
400.
you go. Good. How do we say this correctly?
Negative 400.
Good. Where's that answer up here? That's not negative, so that's wrong. That's not negative, so that's wrong. That's not negative.
Would it be the C? It would be B.
Yep, B would work. Would C work like Angel said?
I think so.
It will. Is there another one that would work?
And negative 250.
Why would negative 250th work? What can you do to negative 4 100ths? I can't hear you, Angel.
Wouldn't you divide
Yeah, you divide both of them by what?
by 2, I think?
Yep, that would work perfect. All right, now, if you wanted to stay working with your fractions, you could also do that. Here, what we would do is we would take 3/5 and we would multiply by the reciprocal of 5 over 1, which would be 1/5. And we would get 3/25. So we would be left with negative 4/25 plus 3/25. And when we did that, that would have gave us a negative 1/25. Now that answer is not on there, but we could have taken this and created an equivalent fraction by taking these and multiplying them to the hundredths place, and that would have got us negative 400ths. So that would have gave us B and C. And if we multiplied these by 2 to create an equivalent fraction, that would have gave us negative 2/50ths. So we also could have done it that way. All right, let's take a look at the next one. So looking at this expression, How could we do this, Braden? What would we do first?
Can I answer?
Sure.
Oh.
Wait, Braden's trying.
Would you do the parentheses first?
All right. Is there any operation inside of the parentheses that we could do? Not really, is it? So what could we do next?
If there's two numbers inside of the parentheses, what do we do?
You're gonna do what's inside of them first, and then work your problem.
Exponents.
Correct. So, and this exponent means to do what with that 1.25?
Multiply by itself.
Correct. So that's what we're gonna do. So what is 1 in 25 hundredths times 1 in 25 hundredths? I'm waiting on y'all. Y'all can do this. Pretty simple. 1.25 times 1.25 equal sign in the calculator.
Uh, 1.5, 1.56.
That look right? 1.5625?
Yes, sir. Yes,
All
sir.
right. What do we do next, Braden?
Division.
Was there any division?
No.
No. But this right here means to do what, class?
Multiplication.
Multiply. So that's what we're going to do. What is, we're going to take this one and multiply it by this, and we're going to take this and multiply it by this, and then we'll simplify. So we need to do 3 times what?
4.25.
Okay, and then we need to take -4 and multiply it by 1.5625.
So I think the first one is 12.75.
You're
because
correct.
if you multiply 3 times 4, it's 12.
Good. And we know a negative times a positive is negative.
Four times 1.5625, that would equal 6.25.
Good job. And what do we have left to do here?
Addition and subtraction.
Yeah, so all we got to do is subtract because there's no addition sign, right? So what is 12 and 75 hundredths minus 6 and 25 hundredths?
6.5.
Good. Anybody got a question? All right, moving on. Read this one for us, Akira. Laura, read this, please, ma'am.
Assume there are 0.75 US dollars in the Canadian dollar. If gasoline costs 2.25 Canadian dollars per liter, how many US dollars does it cost to buy a gallon of gas in Canada?
All right. So,
1 gallon equals 3.8 liters.
all right. So those are liters. All right. So it's like a 2 liter of drink or a 1 liter of drink, like getting a Coke for like the family or whatever. So what could we do here, class? What do y'all think we could do?
Well, first of all, you can do 3.8 liters because that's what's in a gallon divided by 2.25 Canadian dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe you subtract that from that.
Well, this is telling us that this equals 1 liter, right? So what if we found out what it would equal for 3.8 liters? Because that would tell us what a gallon in Canadian cost. And if we know what a gallon in Canadian cost, don't we just get 75 hundredths of whatever it costs? And that tells us how much it is to buy a gallon of gas in Canada with US money? Or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that'll work. All right, so let's see. Let's take our 2 and 25 hundredths, or $2.25, times our 3.8. What's 8 times 5?
40,
Good. What's 8 times 2?
16,
Plus 4?
20,
8 times 2?
16,
Plus 2?
plus 2 is 18.
3 times 5?
15.
Good. 3 times 2?
6.
Plus 1?
7.
3 times 2?
6.
All right, then we just got to add it up. What's 0 plus 0?
0.
What's 5 plus 0?
5.
What is 8 plus 7?
15,
What is 2 plus 6?
8.
All right, let's see how many decimal places. We had 1 here, we had 2 here, so I need to move from here how many decimal places? What's 2 plus 1?
3.
Yeah, 3. So I get $8 and how many cents?
50 cents.
55? All right, so this is 1 gallon of gas in Canadian money. But we want to know how much it is in the US. But we know that the US money is 3/4 the amount of Canadian money. So what can we do with 0.75 and this 8.55 to figure out how much this is in?
multiply it. Can you
Yes,
multiply?
sir. Good job.
And once you get 6.4125.
Correct. And what is 6.4125 rounded to the nearest hundredth?
$6.41.
Good job. $6.41 is correct. And the reason is because this number right here is 4 or less. So this hundredths place stays the same. All right, going on to our next question. So this, all we're going to do is we are going to either use a plus, a minus, a multiplication, or a division symbol to make these true. So I want you to think about what you could do to make this true. If someone has already solved this last night in their study guide, reviewing it, tell me what to do. If not, think about it. And
Do we use PEMDAS?
yeah, I mean, you always have to use that. Yes, ma'am.
So you do the exponent of 3, which is 9.
Okay.
And then wouldn't it be -3 over 9? So like divided by 9?
Well, this just means that you're going to put like a plus or a minus or a times or something in there. Does that make sense?
Multiplication for the first one.
All right, so you're thinking we should do -3 times 9? That's going to give us
Probably division or
-27. And then -27
No,
plus or
I
minus
said-
1/3
I said
wouldn't really work.
division, like I forgot.
All right, so -3 divided by 9 would give us -3 ninths. What would that simplify to? I can divide these both by what?
3.
3. 3 divided by 3 is
1.
1. And 9 divided by 3 is
3.
good. And then what would I need to do with -1/3 and 1/3? would I add, subtract, multiply, or divide to get it to equal 0?
Once you multiply it,
Negative 1/3 times 1/3 will equal 0?
Or negative
divide.
plus.
Who said plus?
My mom.
All right, plus is correct. Good job, Mom. So the reason is because if we have 1/3 and we take 1/3 away, what are we left with?
Addition.
Say it again.
Addition.
No, if we have 1/3
0.
and we take
yeah,
1/3
0.
away, yeah, we would have 0. That's right. That's right. Levi, does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Did you know another way to do it?
Yes, sir. That's what I got. I just
All right. I'm going to show you the way that I do it. I do -3 plus 3 squared times 1/3. I'm going to tell y'all why I do this. Because the order of operations. I can take 3 squared, which is 9, and if I multiply it by 1/3, this is going to give me 3. And so I'm left with -3 plus 3. And what's that equal? If you have 3 apples and you take 3 apples away, how many are you left with?
0.
0. So either way it works. Your choice. Whichever one's easier to use is what I want you to use. You could have got it right multiple ways, okay? Does that make sense? Looking for a thumbs up, thumbs down, yes or no?
Yes.
All right. Moving to the next one. This is a good problem here. Who feels confident in leading the way on this one? Remember, we're using the order of operations. So we're focusing on parentheses first, exponents second, multiplication and division from left to right third, and addition and subtraction from left to right fourth or last. All right. So what's the first thing we're going to do? Don't be quiet. Let's figure it out.
Parentheses.
All right. And inside the parentheses, are there any operations that we can do?
no. First, I
No.
can do the exponent.
Correct. So, which means this 2 squared is going to become what?
4.
Correct, because we're doing 2 times 2 here. Okay. So now we're left with -1/5 times -25 minus 1/2 times 4 divided by 1/6. Okay, so looking at this one, we've already done our parentheses, we've already done our exponents. So what's the next step?
Multiplication.
All right, so there's actually 2 things that we can multiply in this problem right now. What are they?
1/2 times 4.
Good.
And -1/5 times -25.
All right, so what is -25 times -1?
25.
Good. And what's 25 divided by 5?
5.
Awesome. What is half of 4?
2.
2. But there's a negative sign, right? And we know that a negative times a positive is a,
Negative.
so we get a -2. And then we have to divide it by 1/6. All right. So I'm waiting on y'all.
Just in curiosity, would on the 1/6 would you divide it by 2 or 5? Like for the bottom and the top, wouldn't you divide it? Or no, not on this one.
So you
Wouldn't it
say,
be 0.5?
so you're saying we would do 5 divided by 1/6 minus 2 divided by 1/6?
No, it was a question like, okay, so You know where it says 1/6, like over the 5 and the 2? Well, when you divide
Okay. So this is step 1 or step 2. This is step 3.
Okay, I understand now. I just didn't realize what it was.
All right. Now we're fixing.
Mr. Martin,
Yes.
wouldn't it be 0.5?
All right. Tell me why. Tell me why. Can't hear you, Landon.
Wouldn't you do 6 divided by 3 and get 1 over 2, and then that equals 0.5?
All right. So what's 5 minus 2?
3.
All right. Is that what you're saying? So we're going to do 3 divided by 1 over 6. Can we divide by a fraction?
No.
So what do we need to do?
Multiply.
Correct. By the what?
Itself.
No. What have we been doing?
The reciprocal, or however you say it.
That's right. The reciprocal. All right. So when we do this, what would we get? What's the reciprocal of this?
6 over 1.
What's 3 times 6?
18.
What's 1 times 1?
1.
So what are we left with?
18.
All right.
I'm a little bit confused.
All right. Tell me what you're confused about.
Like how to do it.
Okay. Tell me this. I want you to just go strictly by patterns right now. You notice that the Fahrenheit is what compared to Celsius?
Higher.
Yeah, it's always higher. So can our answer be 100 or 122?
Yes.
You sure? Celsius is always
Wait,
lower than Fahrenheit, right? So A and B are out automatically. So we're looking at 3 possible answers. So I want you to look through this and see what you can find. We see that 99's at 37. So,
I don't understand why, but I think it's 15.
all right. I mean, it's definitely probably a good guess. So let's see. If I was to do 99 minus 68, 9 minus 8 is 1, and 9 minus 6 is 3. So it's 31 more than this, and it's getting you to 37. All right. If I look at my next one, 68 minus 50 is how much?
18.
Correct. And what if I did 50 minus 32? So I'm going to stick with them because I noticed something. 32 is 18 less, and 68 is 18 more. So 50 is right in the center of those two, right? So if it's dead in the middle, then that means that our answer has to be in the middle of 0 and 20. So what number is in the middle of 0 and 20?
10.
10. So our answer is 10. Now there's also another way to do this. We went over formulas and said how to find Fahrenheit. And so the way we do that, to find Celsius, the way we do that is we do 5 nights times our temperature, which is Fahrenheit, minus 32, and it'll give us our answer. What's 50 minus 32? We've already done it. We said it was what?
18.
18.
So now we do 18 times 5 and divide it by 9, and it'll give us our answer.
And 18 times 5 would be 90.
And 90 divided by 9 is
10.
So we could have done it either way. One's using the formula, right?
Yes.
And the other one is not. First thing we do is our exponents. You follow me, Levi?
Yes, sir.
All right, so I'm going to take this. I'm going to do this first. So when I do that, I get 4. All right, so that's done. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do my multiplication. So I'm taking this number and multiplying by this. I'm taking this and multiplying by this. All right, so negative 1/5 times negative 25 gives us a positive 5, and negative 1/2 times 4 gives us a negative 2. And then I have to divide this by 1/6. So 5 minus 2 equals 3. And 3 divided by 1/6 I cannot do because I have to multiply by the reciprocal. Okay. Now, in order to multiply by the reciprocal, I have to flip this fraction over. So I'm left with 3 times 6 over 1. Now, I can do 3 times the numerator and divide it by 1, or I can put this over an imaginary 1 right here because it's understood, because it can be a rational number. And 3 times 6 is 18. And 1 times 1 is 1. And 18 divided by 1 equals 18.
I get it now.
All right, you see the mistake? Did you find your mistake?
Still not really.
But you do understand how to do it?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. All right, I wish everybody the best luck on their test. You may use a calculator.